Sri Lanka is going through a very crucial stage, and that is why now, more than any time, you must stay informed with the latest. Good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News, bringing you the news from the news desk. I am Sandro Satijit. Before your news in detail, let's have a look at your headlines. People should unite to defeat the proposed anti-terrorism bill, says former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga.
ජනතාව ඒක රාශී වෙලා තද බල ලෙස යම් දෙයක් ඉල්ලුවොත් ඒ ලබා ගන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. ඉතින් අපි මේ අරගල හරි විප්ලව හරි මොනවා හරි කරන්න වෙනවා මේ රටේ වෙන.
Anti-terrorism bill, a sign that Sri Lanka will become a country without democratic freedom, says former Minister G.L. Pereira.
මාධ්‍යවේදියෙක් පින්තූරය කරගෙන මොනවා හරි ලිව්වොත් ඒ අය තිරේ දාන්න.
Oil companies in Sri Lanka are working for a president who is without the people's mandate, says former MP Sunil Handunetti. Minister Vijaydas Rajapaksa says anti-corruption bill sent to be gazetted. On to your top story this afternoon. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says the government hopes to stabilize the economy by the year 2026. He made this statement when he delivered the keynote speech at a CA Sri Lanka forum titled Economic Dialogue, IMF and Beyond in Colombo this morning.
How do we carry on our discussions at this crucial moment? We are a democracy. Open debate is useful, and it's good that we have members representing government and opposition, the business community, the professions. But we have to discuss and debate these issues. And discussion must take place in the halls of discussion from Parliament downwards, not in the streets. That type of agitation is no longer suitable for a country and goes on development. But the decision is ours to take, not for the government to enforce. We can only ensure law and order. But otherwise, where do we hold our discussions? That's the second issue. So it's from here that we have to go forward. We need money to make it one of the best education systems in South Asia, or the best education system in South Asia in the next decade. That is social progress. Secondly, the health system. We spend a lot of money on health, but do we get the benefit of every rupee we spend? We need to put more money into it. Into the social safety network, to the poor, to the vulnerable, we have to help them. So that's where we have to get bulk of our money into, not to supporting the Petroleum Corporation or the CEB or Sri Lankan. We wasted too much of our resources on those occasions. So let us look at how we go ahead. Our potential for green economy at the moment is good.
On to other news now. The National Movement for Radical Change held an event in Colombo yesterday under the theme, The Beginning of Radical Change. Former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga, speaking at the event, called for a united response to defeat the anti-terrorism bill.
Anti-terrorism bill.
People must rally against it. We cannot even speak of democracy at this rate. They could just storm in here and arrest us all. We will have to start fighting against it. Leave aside us being politicians. We're all social activists and we must unite to defeat this. The Aragalaya taught all of us a good lesson. That is, if people unite and strongly demand a change, they can achieve it. So whether it be another Aragalaya or revolution or whatever you wish to call it, something has to be done.
The
Anti-Terrorism Act bill, which has been like 2 or 3 days ago, it was gazetted, which has major issues and problems. Larger community, as a human rights activists, we keep calling for repeal and then review the existing Prevention of Terrorism Act, which contributed much more during the 3 decades of war, which resulted for enforced disappearances across north and east and island-wide, where many of the mothers and wives from south and north and east who are looking for their loved ones, and also like the truth, whatever had been happened to their loved ones, whoever been forced to enforce disappeared. Can't address anything on the surface level without we address the root cause of the issues. Many of the youths who were arrested under PTA and then placed inside behind bars for more than 3 months under detention. So we kind of like think about when the problems come to our doorsteps, then only we realize and think about it like, okay, this is kind of a problem for us, and then we have to kind of address it.
දවස් 3කට ඉස්සෙල්ලා ගැසට් කළා ඇන්ටි ටෙරරිසම් බිල් අතිශයින් භයානකයි තිබුණ එකට වඩා 10 ගුණයක් භයානකයි දැන් පෙළපාලි ගියොත් ඒක ටෙරරිසම් වෙනවා ඒක ත්‍රස්තවාදී ක්‍රියාවක් වෙනවා අත්අඩංගුවට ගන්න පුළුවන් ඒකට සාවේ කවුරු හරි මාධ්‍යවේදියෙක් මේ පින්තූරයක් අරගෙන මොනවා හරි ලිව්වොත් ඒ අය හිරේ දාන්න පුළුවන්.
The anti-terrorism bill was gazetted 3 days ago. This is extremely dangerous. It's 10 times more frightening than the previous bill. If you go on protest marches, it's an act of terrorism. You can be arrested. If a journalist captures a photograph and writes something, they can be put behind bars. Police DIGs can issue detention orders. Not just the president. No one can challenge this and go to courts. The detention order will last for 3 months. The Attorney General could say that there is evidence against him, but I will file a case right now and just delay it for 20 years or even send the accused to a rehabilitation center. Proscription orders can also be issued. Restriction orders, all are included in this bill. The bill has been gazetted. The opposition will definitely take to the Supreme Court against this. This new bill was brought in stating that the previous bill was too dangerous, but this is worse. We should be concerned over this bill regardless of party politics. We cannot speak of democracy after this bill is passed. Sri Lanka will transform into a country with zero democracy.
ගෙනාවේ ඉස්සෙල්ලා පනත හරි දරුණුයි එහෙනම් ඒක ඉවත් කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා. ඊට වඩා අතිශයින් දරුණු පනතක් තමයි මේ ඉදිරිපත් කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් මෙන්න මේවා පිළිබඳ මම හිතන්නේ අපි අවධානය යොමු කරන්න ඕනේ පක්ෂ ભેදයෙන් තොරව. මේ පනත සම්මත කළොත් ඊට පස්සේ ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදය ගැන කතා කරන්න බෑ කොහෙද.
Minister Dr. Wijayadasa Rajapaksa pointed out that the anti-corruption bill has been sent to be gazetted. Today, the people of the country have no confidence in the Bribery and Corruption Commission. So far, we have drafted the anti-corruption bill and sent it to be gazetted. Through this, the Commission has been provided greater financial and investigative independence. We have given more powers in comparison with the existing powers of the Commission. This Commission is empowered to investigate any information related to corruption with or without a complaint. At the same time, we do not expect to appoint retired members to this commission because it has been confirmed so far that pensioners have not acted responsibly. Similarly, the 1975 Act relating to statements of assets and liabilities of politicians and officials is far outdated. Also, some people are not bound to submit their assets and liabilities under the Act. We have included those who are not bound under the new Act to submit their assets or liabilities. In that category, we have included the President, provincial councils, ministers, governors, members of commissions, chairpersons, high commissioners, etc.
මහඇමතිවරු, ඇමතිවරු, ආණ්ඩුකාරවරු, මන්ත්‍රීවරු, කොමිෂන් සභාවල් වල සමාජිකයන්, තානාපතිවරුන්, මහකොමසාරිස්වරුන් යනාදියත් මේකට ඇතුල් කරලා තියෙනවා.
On to other news now. Former JVP MP Sunil Handunhetty commented on what he called the government without a mandate bringing 3 oil companies to Sri Lanka. He made these remarks while attending a public meeting in Hungamwa. Ranil Wickremesinghe is someone who does more than what the International Monetary Fund says. Ranil Wickremesinghe, who does not have a mandate, is now preparing to bring 3 oil companies to Sri Lanka. Just imagine increasing the number by 5 when there's 2 already. Why are fuel prices reduced today? That is to prove that the trade unions that are on strike are doing something wrong. To show the people that the government is providing fuel at low prices and to cause the people to turn against the trade unions. But what will happen if the companies get caught to this lie? In another month, 5 oil companies will come and increase fuel prices. Then they will say the prices are on par with the global market prices and that it's in accordance with IMF Meanwhile, the secretary of the trade union arm of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Gamini Lokuge, says the SLPP petroleum trade unions did not inform him about their trade union action. Minister of Power and Energy Kantana Wijesekara said yesterday that 20 people, including trade union leaders who are working to disrupt the petroleum supply, have been sent on compulsory leave. Now, Gamini Lokuge expressed his opinion in this regard today. We intervene on behalf of the rights of the CPC employees. We will not speak up for illegal activities. We were not informed of the trade union action. However, as a party, we will fight for the rights of the employees. The SLPP trade unions did not discuss this with us or inform us that they will join this trade union action. They have gone ahead and joined a different organization and engaged in this struggle. Meanwhile, the Professionals Trade Union Collective is scheduled to meet again this afternoon.
Professionals Union Collective discussion has been convened following failed attempts to hold talks with the President regarding the government's tax policy. The Federation of University Teachers Association warns that if solutions to their problems are not found, they will intensify trade union action together with other unions from the 3rd of April.
As the Professionals Trade Union Collective, we decided yesterday to convene another meeting as we are yet to receive solutions with regards to the unjust tax policy. Even the President is yet to give us an opportunity to meet with him. We have decided to issue him a letter expressing our displeasure. We have discussed this with other trade unions today and will launch a joint trade union action from the 3rd of April unless a solution is provided. Now, the individual who was injured in a shooting last afternoon in Midigama, Valigama, succumbed to his injuries early this morning. At around 6:30 p.m. yesterday, a mob had arrived at the scene in a motor vehicle and had opened fire on the victim and fled the scene. The businessman who was seriously injured in the shooting was admitted to the Mathura General Hospital. It was reported that he had succumbed to his injuries at the intensive care unit this morning. The victim was a 32-year-old unmarried man. The police suspect that the shooting had taken place due to a personal dispute. The police special task force have seized the vehicle suspected to have arrived at the scene of crime. It had been found in Ahangama, Dikumbura. The car has been rented from the Valigama area. A magisterial inquest is scheduled to take place today. The Valigama and Midigama police stations have launched a probe into the incident. Sri Lanka has been facing a multitude of issues in the past few years. Now, in the backdrop of the current economic and social challenges in Sri Lanka, the issues faced by farmers remain unsolved. Farmers engaging in cucumber cultivation in Anuradhapura are facing severe difficulties due to the lack of a proper price in the market for their products. The Manning Market and Specialized Centres receive a stock of more than 25,000 kilograms of cucumber daily. The farmers demand the authorities provide a suitable price for their harvest. Farmers say the selling price of a kilo of paddy in Minneria Polonarva has dropped to 70 rupees at present. The farmers lament at that price, which is impossible for them to cover their expenses. The residents of Srilankatravel village in the Monragala district have been suffering from a lack of clean drinking water for an extended period of time. But today, their long-awaited dreams of having access to clean drinking water was fulfilled. This is the village of Srilankatravel in the Monragala district. The villagers here had one worry, the lack of access to clean drinking water. Not just the people of this rural village, but those visiting the Srilankatravel temple were affected by this issue as well. The foundation stone for the water filtration project for the Srilankatravel village, which was laid on the 19th of August last year, was vested to the people of the village today. Over 200 residents of this village as well as devotees who arrived to visit the Srilankatravel temple now have access to clean drinking water thanks to this project by government.
වැටෙනා තරමට ගැහෙනා හදවත් ළඟ ඇසිපිය නොහෙලා බලා ඉන්නා නෙතු ළඟ සිරියාව තවරන්නේ හැමදාමත් අපි අපිමයි මේ අපි අපිට ලං වෙන කාලයයි.
The remains of former Speaker, the late Joseph Michael Pereira, were brought to Parliament premises today. Joseph Michael Pereira, a veteran politician, passed away on Tuesday, the 28th of March, at the age of 82. His remains were brought to the Parliament premises this morning, where the Speaker and other MPs paid their last respects. The body was kept in the Parliament complex for an hour. Joseph Michael Pereira served as the 17th Speaker of the Parliament of Sri Lanka. From 1964 to 1976, he held several positions, including the chairmanship of the Jaila Municipal Council. He represented the Rajya Sabha from 1976 to 1977 and represented the first Parliament of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka in 1978. From then until August 17, 2015, Pereira represented the Parliament and held many positions as an MP, Minister and Speaker. On to other news now. The 4 suspects arrested for trespassing into the Sabaragama University dormitory and assaulting freshers have been released on bail. The suspects were arrested by the Criminal Investigation Department.
Police said that 4 Sabaragama University students and residents of Dehiwala, Moratua, Ambalangoda and Balimada, aged 23, 24 and 25 were arrested. They were released on bail after being produced before the Balangada Magistrate Court. It was alleged that the students had entered the dormitory of Sabaragama University on the 15th of February and carried out the assault.
Now, market data shows that gold prices in Sri Lanka have increased again.
The price of 22-carat gold at the gold market in Colombo this morning increased to 163,800 rupees. The price yesterday was 161,000 rupees. Meanwhile, the price of 24-carat gold, which was 175,000 rupees yesterday, increased to 178,000 today.
A well-debated topic in the world is cryptocurrency. Now, the Central Bank of Sri Lanka has warned the public over the use of cryptocurrency.
The Central Bank of Sri Lanka has warned Sri Lankans on the use of cryptocurrency, adding that cryptocurrencies are not considered as a legal tender in the country. CBSL said there are no regulatory safeguards relating to their usage in the country. The public is also warned of the growing number of financial scams operating with the promise of high returns based on crypto investments. The central bank said that these scams include deceiving individuals and obtaining money from them with the promise of providing a high return by investing money in cryptocurrency, as well as deceiving individuals to invest in fraudulent cryptocurrency projects. CBSL strongly advises the public to safeguard their hard-earned money and not invest or engage in any cryptocurrency scheme offered through the internet, other forms of media, or directly by any persons.
News overseas now. Pope Francis, the head of the Catholic Church, has been admitted to hospital in Rome due to respiratory infections.
The Vatican confirmed that the 86-year-old had experienced breathing difficulties in recent days, but tests have shown that he does not have COVID-19. In a statement, the Vatican said that Pope Francis would need a few days of appropriate hospital medical therapy, and that he is touched by the many messages received and expresses his gratitude for the closeness and prayer. The Pope's closest staff, including security personnel, are expected to stay at the Gemelli Hospital with him while he receives treatment. This comes at a particularly busy time for Pope Francis, with many events events and services scheduled ahead of the Easter weekend, including a Palm Sunday Mass this coming weekend and Holy Week and Easter celebrations. The Vatican initially claimed that the Pope had gone to the hospital for a previously scheduled checkup, but Italian media have questioned this account after a television interview was cancelled at short notice.
In other news overseas, Mexican prosecutors say they have identified 8 suspects thought responsible for 38 deaths in a fire at a migrant detention center. Now, Monday's blaze is now being investigated as a possible homicide.
5 of the suspects are reported to be security guards at the facility in a Mexican city on the U.S. border. Authorities are facing mounting pressure to explain why the victims who came from Central and Southern America were not freed. Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador said that those responsible would be punished in conformity with the law. Speaking at a press briefing, he insisted there would be transparency in the investigation and no impunity for those responsible for the painful tragedy. Shortly after the fire, Mr. López Obrador said the migrants had set mattresses alight when they learned that they'd be deported. However, there are reports that migrants were detained at random during a roundup, were being held in poor conditions and were not given enough water while in detention.
That's all the news for now. Follow us on our social media pages and stay updated with the latest. Bringing you the news from the news desk, I am Sandro Satyajit signing off. Have a beautiful day.